Hello, everybody. Welcome, everyone out there in Facebook land. We are going to be having a live session. We're talking about our return to in-person school. I'm Bill Perkins and the principal. I'm glad to be with you. And I'm joined by Dr. Owens, who'll be joining us right now. We're going to talk to you a little bit about our reopening plans. And then also, we're going to be joined by Miss Stinson, our counselor, who's popping on right now. And so the three of us are very excited. We've been working very hard with our staff to reopen school and return to in-person, as well as to support virtual. So we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to turn it over for just a minute to our assistant principal, Dr. Owens, who is going to bring welcome and greetings to everyone this afternoon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So happy to get to join you tonight. It was almost 1 year ago when I dismissed school for what I thought would be just 2 weeks. And here we are a year later. But we are super excited to get back to in-person school, to see all of you all, as well as to service those who are going to choose to stay virtual. Tonight, we're just going to get together and go over some of our plans with you and then answer some questions. So over on the side or at the bottom, if you're on Facebook, you can also join from YouTube. So if you have some families that you know of at Wilder who you could invite or join, the link, go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and share so they can get on and also get their questions answered and hear about our reopening plans. We're going to move through. We kind of took some items that we thought you'd want to hear about that we're going to talk about throughout this. But if you have some questions, feel free to drop those in and we'll be answering those live as well. So at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Perkins. He's going to talk to you a little bit about the schedule.
Well, I know that all of you have been probably watching closely at the reports of when we are returning back and what that schedule might look like. I'm going to post on the screen right now to let you see a visual about the schedule for the first week of school. And you can see that on Wednesday, March the 17th, we will be having kindergarten through second grade students in Group A. Last name starting with A through K, but also we have some students in that grade group that have had special arrangements made for their schedule depending on family members, last name. But primarily on that first day, it's going to be students in Group A, as well as kindergarten through second grade students receiving special education services. And those students, those families would have been contacted by their teacher, and they could have opted in for classes each 4 days a week or 2 days a week. And so that's something that was worked out between those families and teachers. Then Thursday and Friday, Thursday, March the 18th, Friday, March the 19th, will be kindergarten through fifth grade students in Group B, last name starting with L through Z, and then elementary students receiving special education services on Thursday and Friday. Then we come back Monday, March 22nd and Tuesday, March 23rd. It will be kindergarten through fifth grade in Group A, last name starting with A through K, elementary students receiving special education services. Early childhood students we do not have early childhood at Wilder, so that does not apply to us. Then on Wednesday, March the 24th, is a virtual learning day for all students, where students do work that is assigned by their teachers at home. And then we come back on Thursday and Friday, March 25th and 26th, with kindergarten through fifth grade students in Group B, last name L through Z, and then elementary students receiving special education services. And so that kind of shows you really the first week and a half of how school is going to be set up. let me just say this while we are going through these things. Feel free to put your questions down there at the bottom. We're going to answer them as they pop up. As I see them, I may address them verbally. If I'm speaking or any of us are speaking, we may answer them or type in an answer for everyone to see. Want to look at what the typical schedule is going to be for each week. And there you can see what the typical week is going to look like. The exceptions to this schedule here are the very, very first week of school, because that very, very first week of school, again, on Wednesday, we're going to be starting with that group A in just kindergarten through second. Also, the week of Derby week, we'll have classes. We'll have group A on Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, with Friday being a remote day for that week, that last week in April. And then the last week of school will also look a little bit different. Other than that, it is going to be this weekly schedule that you see right here in front of you. So Monica, I'm going to have Miss Stenson, our counselor, is going to talk with you for just a moment about orientation that is going to be starting this week. And so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi, everybody. So good to be here tonight and looking very forward to seeing our kiddos coming back to school next week. So if you are watching, boys and girls, we are so looking forward to having you back next week. We're working very hard to get everything prepared to make sure that we have a safe return. So for our orientation, do we have a slide to put up for that? Okay, so our orientation times next Wednesday. I'm sorry, actually this Wednesday. We have 5:30 to 6:30 kindergarten students will be getting on with their teacher for orientation. 6:30 to 7:30 grade 1, and 7:30 to 8:30 will be grade 2. Also on Thursday, we will have grade 3 from 5:30 to 6:30, grade 4 from 6:30 to 7:30, and grade 5 from 7:30 to 8:30. If you have not been contacted by your child's teacher yet, you will be. Hopefully, you've already been contacted. Let you know who your child's teacher is and how that you will join their orientation. And they will all be virtual. So you will have the opportunity to meet your teacher. I encourage you to have your child on there with you so they can see some of their friends that are going to be in their class, whether they are going to be virtual or whether they are going to be in person. The orientations will be for everyone. Hopefully your child will be able to get on, and your child's teacher will be able to answer questions that you might have. And if they cannot answer your question, they will direct you to one of us. And so we will make sure we get your question answered. Back to you, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, Dr. Owens is going to talk with you just a little bit next about the expectations for virtual learning. I see we've got a couple questions about that on here as well. I'll address this one right now. Will orientation be recorded to view at a later time? Yes, we've asked our teachers to do that and leave that on their Google platform so that if you happen to miss that time, you can catch it later. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Owens for this next part. She's going to talk to you about virtual only and in person, as well as talking to you a little bit about filling out the forms on Parent Place. Thank you.
Let's try that again. All right, so talk to you about the easy part first, and that's filling out those forms online. I know we have sent several reminders for you to get on Parent Place and fill out your enrollment forms and all the other forms we need to start school. But we really, really, really need those. If you have not gone on and done that, we need to know how to contact you. We need to know who can pick your child up. All the things that we would get from you on the first day of school anyway, we need those now for sure before we start back in person. So I think the link was posted earlier on the screen. So make sure that you visit Parent Place and get your forms filled out and turned into us as soon as possible. Someone also asked about medications, and I answered that, but let me also say that we will be signing those in. We have a full-time nurse who will be helping with that, as well as office staff. So you can bring those medications the first day. There'll be someone at the front door and the library door to assist with those things. Now, what will virtual learning look like? If you've chosen the virtual option, not much is going to change. It's going to look much like NTI. You may have more time where you're expected to meet with the teacher, but the workload and all those things will be similar to what you have experienced throughout NTI. The one big change is that Wednesday, just to make sure that our in-person and virtual learning lineup, Wednesday will be the catch-up day for NTI now, for virtual now. As far as in-person learning, students will come either Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. The Wednesday will be that day when they can catch up. Now, teachers may also do assessments on those days or small groups, so be aware of that. But on the other days, you have asynchronous work. So some teachers will do choice boards where students can pick options to work on throughout the week. Others will have assignments loaded into the Google Classroom. So when you attend orientation with your child's teacher, they will go into more detail about how they will engage your child through those days of learning where they're on their own. And now I'm going to turn it back over, I think, to Mr. Perkins.
Thanks, Dr. Owens. Yes. So on the days that students are not in session live, they are asynchronous days. There will be work that is assigned that from their teacher that they will do on those days as well. Teachers can also request to meet with students in small group virtually or have live sessions, but primarily students are going to be doing asynchronous work on the days that they are not in school. Now, I will also say this. I want everyone to please make sure that you are paying attention to any communication that's coming home. We are going to continue to communicate with you through our e-news on Fridays, as well as Twitter, as well as Facebook, CNXT, and Messenger. So as you receive information from the school, please make sure that you're reading that and you're staying abreast on things that are happening at school as we are sending them out. I'm going to have Ms. Stinson talk with you just a little bit next about the bus and temperature checks at school and the importance of making sure students are not getting on the bus with a temperature or fever.
All right, so we are going to put a lot of responsibility on the parents here before you get your kiddo in the car to come to school or before you put them on the school bus. I'll start with school bus first. It is your responsibility as the parent or guardian to make sure that your child is not sick before they come to school. So if your child is feeling ill, if they tell you they have a little bit of a stomach ache, if they feel feverish, you need to take their temperature. If you do not have a thermometer, we do have thermometers that we can send to you. So please reach out to Mr. Perkins, Ms. Owens, or myself and let us know if you need a thermometer. But you must take your child's temperature before you put them on the school bus if you are concerned that they may be sick. If they come to school and they mention they do not feel well, we will be calling you and you will be required to come pick them up. As they get off the school bus, all children will have their temperature taken, regardless of whether or not they say they feel bad or not. That is a district and state requirement. So they will, as they get off the bus, they will have their temperature taken before they're allowed to enter in the building. If they have a temperature, they will be taken with a specific adult, which will take them into the office. And they will see our nurse. And then you will be contacted to come and pick your child up. So please do not send your child to school if you are concerned at all that they are sick. It is very important for the safety of all children, all adults in the building, that you make effort to not send your child, even if you think, oh, they just have a little bit of a toothache, or their stomach will feel better once they get to school. Please do not take that chance. For the remainder of the school year, we really need you to keep your child at home if there is any concern that they're not feeling well. If they are to get sick during the school day, they will be escorted by administration or by the nurse down to the sick room from the classroom. And our nurse will be checking each child to determine whether or not they need to go home or what needs to be done. So you will be contacted if there's any concern that you need to pick up your child. But I also want you to be aware that children will not be sitting in the classroom if they are not feeling well. They will be escorted by an adult to the office. Car riders, a little bit. Some of it is the same as bus riders, except you will be bringing your child to the back door where you normally drop off car riders. You will come to the same place. When your child exits the car, we will take their temperature. So we will be asking you to take them home. Same requirement as bus riders if they are running a temperature. So please make sure that you do not bring them and drop them off in the car rider line if they're not feeling well. Once they have their temperature taken, they will go straight to their classroom. And I did not mention that about bus riders. Same thing with bus riders. There will not be a holding area due to keeping the spacing. For COVID reasons, there will be no holding areas before or after school, such as the cafeteria or the library or the gym. Students will go straight to class and their teachers will be there to greet them. So if they need breakfast, there will be a pickup at the cafeteria door where they can grab their breakfast in a bag and take it to the classroom to eat. So no students will be going through the breakfast line at all. They will grab their breakfast and go straight to class. If it's a car rider, they will go up and get their breakfast and go straight to class. We will have plenty of adults in the hallways to let them know where to go. So if you're concerned that your child is either new to our school, if they are a kindergarten student or first grade student and you're worried they won't know where to go, we will have plenty of adults all day, every day, to make sure kiddos know where to go, that students are being spaced apart, they are wearing masks. Just remember, they must have on their mask from the minute they get on the bus to the minute they get home that day. They have to keep their masks on. There will be mask breaks, and we'll be talking about that, but they have to keep their masks on in the bus, when they enter the building, and keep it on during the day while they're in the building and in the classroom. Same thing with car riders. They need to have on their masks when they get out of the car and enter the building. We are asking for parents, if you have a bus rider, that you remind your children the importance of keeping that mask on when they are waiting on the bus. If you can wait at the bus stop with them, that would be awesome. If you cannot, please remind your child to stay distanced from other children at the bus stop about at least 6 feet and to keep their mask on. If they do get on the school bus without a mask will be provided to them. Temperatures will not be taken at the bus stop. They will be taken when they get to school, and that is a district requirement. Students are not allowed to be left at the bus stop, so they will be taken to school, and then their temperature will be taken there. However, if a student gets up on the bus and says to the bus driver they do not feel well, they will be sat in a specific seat away from other students. So if your child gets on the school bus and mentions they do not feel well, they will be put in a specific seat where they're not around other children to sit with their mask on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to let you know. Walkers will come in where they normally come in. They will be dismissed from where they are normally dismissed. That will be the same. Car riders cannot be dropped off until 8:40. A little bit different from the past. Please make sure you do not bring your child before 8:40. We will not open the doors at the library until that time. Bus riders will arrive between 8:30 and when school begins. Some buses do not get there quite that early, but I already let you know what we will be doing as bus riders arrive. Mr. Perkins, is there anything regarding arrival that I am not mentioning that you can think of?
No, I don't think so, Miss Stenson. I know there's some great questions coming in about walkers that we can answer. If one of you all will type that in, that just came across. Siblings will be allowed to sit together on the bus. Yeah, we just answered that. We're going to get to all of your questions, I promise you. But let me just say this. I am so excited to get to see our students again. I mean, I've just been on cloud nine. I know it's different. I know we have to wear masks, but just to have the opportunity to greet them again and see them again. And I know I don't just speak for myself. I speak for all of the Wilder family that we are very, very excited. And we are going to take them in and we are going to care for them as if they are our own. And we are going to love them and we are going to give our very, very best. And we know that everyone is nervous, but we are going to do our very, very best to ease any anxieties that you have and answer all of your questions. You can always email us, myself or Dr. Owens or Miss Stenson as well. You can text me at any time. I actually leave my phone number in the newsletters. So parents, if you ever have a question or a concern, you can reach out to me at any time. I'm always available, but I want you to know how excited we are, how thrilled we are to get to see our kiddos again. Let me just address this really quick too. I want to talk about mask and distancing. It is important that our students come to school with masks. If something were to happen, we do have plenty of masks here for the safety of all of our adults and our students, as well as all of our rooms are stocked. Our school is stocked well with PPE equipment. We are going to distance students as far as apart as we can. We do want to say that we can't always guarantee that students are going to be 6 feet apart, and that's why it will be important for them to wear masks during the day. We do have markings on our floor and have been working with our students our teachers to ensure that they are prepared to educate students. I think they're already doing that online around those safety procedures. We ask that you reinforce that at home. And I am going to ask Dr. Owens, she is going to come on right now and talk to you a little bit about our breakfast and our lunch procedures. And then I'll come back and talk with you a little bit about our sick room procedures in the event that we do have a student ill and how we will address that. And then from there, Ms. Stenson's going to talk a little bit about our guests and picking up students from school. And then we're going to take, as we continue to go through, we're going to be taking your questions as well. So Dr. Owens, we'll turn it over to you for breakfast, talking about breakfast and lunch.
Okay, and Ms. Stenson addressed a little bit about breakfast, but just let me tell you again that all students will be offered breakfast. We are community eligibility school, so breakfast and lunch are free to all students when they arrive, either as walkers, car riders, or bus riders. The breakfast stations will be out in the hallway and one in the cafeteria. All students can stop by and grab a grab-and-go breakfast. This procedure is a little bit different than how we normally do it. They won't actually go through the line for breakfast. They'll just come in, grab something that they can take and easily eat in their classrooms. So they will go straight to classrooms, no holding area, and they will eat breakfast there. For lunch, we've changed our cafeteria to address the needs of social distancing. So we will have students actually go to the cafeteria. They will go through the line 6 feet apart. They will sit at tables. Right now it is 2 to a table, but they will be 6 feet apart. They're facing in the same direction. So we are making sure that we are aligned with all CDC guidelines, and they will have their normal 20 minutes to eat. And then we've added extra time into the schedule for sanitizing each table as students leave. So lunch will be a little bit earlier this year for our kindergartners, and it'll run a little bit later for our 5th grade students, which might take a little bit of getting used to after being home for the year, but we think that that will work really well for breakfast and lunch. And now, Ms. Stinson, I think it's back to you. Did I address everything? I think so.
All right. If someone can answer, there's one question that just came. If students don't have all their supplies, will we have them available to them for free? If someone can answer that question. And I am Mr. Perkins, can you remind me what you would like for me to speak on at this time?
Yes, I was going to have you talk a little bit about our procedures for guests and picking up. If a parent has to pick up their child, our procedure for that.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we are not allowing any guests into the building for any reason. We have that requirement due to safety. So if you need to pick up your child early, drop off your child late, you will come to the front of the school and someone will come out and have you that way, okay? You won't need to come into the building to sign them out. Someone will come out and you will let that person know why you are there. If it's because you're picking up a child, then they will call for your child, bring your child out to you. If you are dropping off your child, then they will have you sign your child in and they will make sure they get your child to their classroom safely. But we can't allow guests in the building just for safety of students and all. I hope everyone understands that, but that's why we're not allowing any guests in the building. So the only people who will be allowed in our building are our staff at our school, and if there's anyone from the school district that needs to come in, or if we have any approved therapists or counselors that are been approved to the building, will be the only guests that will be allowed to enter the building. If you have any concerns, you can always still call the school if you need to notify us of something. If you do need to come to notify something at school, someone will come out to your car and you can let them know what it is that you're there for, if you are dropping something off or if you're picking something up. Okay, back to you, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, at this point, we've tried to answer. We didn't want to get really specific on a lot of academic questions because, you know, your child's teacher is going to be talking with you about that at orientation. And you've seen the dates when those are going to be taking place. And all of our teachers should have made contact with you. And if they have not, you know, you need to let us know so we can reach out to that grade level teacher. But all of them have scheduled their orientations. And at this point, we just want to make sure that we get every question answered. So as you all have things that are still on your mind that maybe we have not covered at this point or haven't covered in our newsletter, please type away, send those questions to us so that we can try to answer all of them. Oh, one thing I will say, this has come up a little bit. All of our schedules are set at this point. So our parents should know that we set a deadline for selecting in person or virtual a couple weeks ago, and we allowed some flexibility on that, and we will still work with families as that comes up. But at this point right now, we have to set our schedules so that we are ready and we can finalize up our bus lists and our class list for the first day of school. All right, let's see. How will special areas be handled? We will continue with the same special areas that our students have had all year. They will have their special area classes will be set up as they have been set up. So that will continue. The only special area that is not going to be offered right now until the end of the school year is STEM lab, because Miss Arnspiger is helping us in first grade. As some of our schedules became over, we had to make some adjustments there. So Miss Arnspiger is going to be picking up a first grade class. All other special areas will be the same. Car riders can be dropped off at any time after 8:40 in the morning. Any other questions that we've got? At this point, all of the changes to the schedules have been completed at this point, or should be. But if there is an instance where once school gets started and there needs to be a change in your child's schedule, you will reach out to one of us. Question about new to Wilder, physical, eye, dental, shot records at home. Do I send them on day one? There is, if you notice below, there is a link to completing all of the registration documents. We still have families that have not completed that. You will go to that particular address that you see scrolling below, and you will fill out the registration information at that site. And if you still have questions after you go there, you will call our school, 485-8350, and speak to any of our clerks, and they will be able to help you regarding that paperwork. Okay.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Stenson.
Would you clarify regarding the new student orientation that went out so they're not confused about that?
Yes, the orientation that we have for our students are for all students. So your child's teacher should have contacted you at this point about orientation. If they have not, and I saw someone that was not sure, please call us at school tomorrow, 485-8350, or send any of the three of us an email, and we will look into that right away. Where can we find bus rider information? The link that JCPS.
I share that link, Mr. Perkins. It's in the stream.
Okay. As well, if you have any bus rider questions at all, you can call our school, 485-8350, and ask to speak to Charlotte Frederick about any transportation issue that you might be having. Okay, other questions? Okay, I do not see any more. questions at this point, let me just say this, that we are very excited, as I said just a little while ago, about seeing all of our kids, and we will be available if you have any questions at all. We want you to reach out to us after this ends. You can email us. You can call school. My cell phone number, 502-552-4156. You can text me if you have any questions outside after this is over. We want to answer any questions that you have. Also, please take time to read our newsletter that was sent out. There is important information in there and links with procedures that explain many of the things that we talked about today. I encourage you to go back and find that and look for that. Also, let us know, as I know I keep saying this again and again, but let us know if you have questions. We want to make sure that we get any of your questions answered. All right. We'll take a few more and wind things down. Let's see how are teachers contacting us as orientation? Okay, we've addressed that. We need to look into that last question, you all, and find out who that kiddo is, so we can find out what's going on with orientation for them. All right. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you all very much. We appreciate you joining us. Please make sure that you attend your orientation time for your child so that you can get more detailed information from your child's teacher. And then also reach out to us if you have any questions at all. Dr. Owens or Ms. Stinson, anything, is there anything maybe that I forgot to add that you all need to fill in?
I just want to add that I just shared the link to our latest newsletter again in the stream. Everything about reopening is in that newsletter, everything. So if you have any questions or you need clarification on any of the procedures for walkers, car riders, buses, lunches, everything is in that newsletter, and the link is over in the stream. So make sure you go back and check that out for any other questions as well.
Mr. Perkins, there's a comment in the chat that we've not answered all the questions, so I think we need to stay on until we can get all the questions answered.
Sure.
So
okay.
I'll go back and tell you the question, then we can answer it. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
I think
I'll read them to you. How will COVID positive cases be handled?
Great question. And we have a procedure for that. Any child that is exhibiting any kind of symptoms of being ill, those children will be quarantined. We have a sick room. We will contact their parents. We will work with our health department and do contact tracing. All of our staff have been trained on that. I've been trained on that. I'm the contact tracing officer for our school. So I will work with the health department and we will identify what measures need to be taken in conjunction with them and make sure everyone is notified accordingly, according to their procedures.
Next question. My son is in kindergarten. He wants to know if a tour of the school is included in orientation.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to tour our school because we can't have outside guests right now unless they are school personnel or here on school district personnel and school business. Or during the day, we can just have students and adults. So we will not be actually, unfortunately, we won't be able to have a tour. Now, some of our teachers may be doing a video type tour situation and share with their students, but that is teacher by teacher.
And also, just to reassure you, Mr. Campbell, we have lots of staff that will be there to help escort all of our kindergartners. We know we do this every year, and we know that they don't know where to go and they come nervous, and we are ready for that. So don't worry. Just reassure your son that everything is going to be just fine. He'll be in great hands. And like I said, we're not just going to turn him loose. We're going to make sure he gets where he needs to go and is well taken care of.
Okay, Mr. Perkins, I think you already addressed this, but a parent is asking if they can change their child's preference for virtual versus in person at this point.
No, we're asking that they not, because we set a deadline for like a couple of weeks ago for that. And we have to ensure that we get our class list situated. We have to also ensure that we get transportation worked out so we can ensure the safe arrival and dismissal of all of our students. So I think all of the choices should have been made by this point. If they haven't been, we will work with each family individually to help them work that out.
If there is a positive case in the classroom, will the school contact the parents of the students in the class, or will they receive a letter, or will they be contacted by the health department? How will they know?
We will follow guidance from the health department when we do contact tracing. We will secure that student. We will make sure that that student is quarantined as quickly as possible to our sick room that is going to be located in the office with an outside door that is going to be supervised by a full-time nurse at our school. And we will work with the health department to follow all of their procedures on what needs to happen. And then as well, students that do have to be quarantined for a period of time will have someone work with them to set up ways to support their academics while they are quarantined and coordinate services through their teacher.
If there needs to be a change in the way a child comes home, do they just need to call the school and let us know?
Correct.
I will answer that one. Can I answer that one? Yeah. We ask that you do that in writing, please. Don't just call us. We need an email, a text message that is also in the newsletter. We ask that you contact Charlotte Frederick. I put her email information in the stream a while back. Also, you can call the school, but we really urge that change be in writing, and also as soon as possible. At the end of the day, it is so difficult to make sure that we get those things in. So we're asking that by 3 o'clock, you let us know about any changes, and please try not to make any changes after that time. So 3 o'clock and in writing.
There's a question about hers. They will come in the morning in the library door, and they will be released in the same door they've been released at each year. In the prior, they will be released at the end of the primary hall. If you're not sure where that is, please send me an email at monica.stinson@jefferson.kyschools.us, and I will make sure I let you know that we are also going to post signs. I know a parent asked earlier if we could post signs about where car riders go because you're new to the school. So we will post where car riders will come in. We'll have something out by the road that you will know where to come in. And we will also post where walkers will come in and exit. Let me see if I see
a question. So if our child is exposed, the health department will call us. Yes, there will be strict procedures in place for contact tracing. All of the staff have been trained on what to do. Again, I'm the contact person for Wilder. And so I would fill out the information and work with the health department, and they will contact those families. And then if a student does have to quarantine, they will be allowed or they will have their work. Their work will be supported at home while they are quarantined. And we will work with the teachers to ensure that they are getting the assignments they need and things to complete and the support they need to complete that while they are quarantined.
We also have a question about will students be called to their car from their classroom? I can answer that question. We are going to have the car riders in the library. There will be X's on the carpet for students that are on the A days and a different color X for students that are on B days. And so they will come in and sit on their X. And they will be spaced apart. We will have several adults in the library monitoring them, making sure their masks are on, making sure they're staying apart from each other, and then they will be dismissed the same way we have in the past from the library.
Okay.
Car rider tags will be emailed to you from Miss Frederick. Miss Frederick will be emailing you the car rider tags.
Will there be?
Sorry, Mr. Perkins, go ahead.
I just was going to address, I got C1 here. Will there be snack breaks for students? Sounds like lunch will start earlier and end later. So will there be? Yes, there will be periods where we realize that it's going to be asking a lot for kids to be in mask during the day. And so there will be mask breaks. There will be periods of time where students step outside and get a mask break. Lunch may take a little bit longer. Breakfast everything may take a little bit longer, but like we've told our teachers, we want to err on the side of caution. Even if things take just a little bit longer, we are okay with that to ensure that everyone is safe. There will be sanitizing stations in the classroom. There will be ample and plentiful opportunities for students to wash their hands and get hand sanitizer as well throughout the day. We are going to supply students with wipes to be able to wipe their desk off as needed during the day.
I see one I want to answer. Should kids wear name tags to school the first days of school to help with finding where they are to go? That would be awesome. We do a great job of figuring it out, but sometimes, especially our little kindergartners, they're at a new place and, we ask them their name and they may not want to tell us, or they may have a nickname that they love that they use instead. And we, like I said, we're masters of figuring it out, but it would be so helpful if you would put your child's name and even maybe your phone number just somewhere on them so that we can easily find where they go.
And to add on to that, we had another parent that was concerned about their child is new, how will they know where to go? So if they're a bus driver, they'll be greeted at the bus, adults, and then they will, we always have a list that tells us all the students' names and what rooms they're in, what classrooms they're in. So we know where they need to go. So if they get off the bus and they have no idea where they're supposed to go, we will make sure they are escorted and know where to go. Same with the library. We'll have many adults down there if they're a rider that will take them to their classroom. So we assure you, we have a list of all students, what rooms they're supposed to go to. So as Dr. Owen said, if you will just, if you're really concerned about them not, being able to tell us their name and things like that, even if they know their name, it would just be easier and quicker for us if they have a tag on.
And let me just say this, I'm very grateful to our friends over at Camera. The first week of school, Camera administrative staff, as well as their mental health therapist, will be here to assist Wilder in opening school since middle school is starting later. As well, our school has obtained 6 additional substitute teachers through the CARES Act money to provide support throughout our school. So we'll have extra adults there. As well, we are paying our teachers for extra time so that they are here early, ready to receive students or stay late. And so we are going to greet those kiddos with smiles, with love in our heart, and excitement to see them when they come back. And we are going to ensure that they are received warmly and that they get to the right place. We take that very seriously. We take that very seriously.
And I saw a couple different questions regarding recess and mass breaks. So I'll just kind of let you know what we've spoken to teachers about regarding that. Everyone will have a scheduled time that they are allowed to take their children out for recess. There will also be unlimited breaks during the day. The teachers have been told, since it will be pretty outside, they can take their students out whenever they feel the need to. Throughout the day, we've asked that they take breaks throughout the day, take them outside, make sure they are spaced more than 6 feet apart where they can take their mask off. So we have asked them to do that. They will be able to do that throughout the day. They're not given like one time they can do it. The teachers can take them out multiple times. We do have a schedule for recess, and we've asked teachers not to combine classes. So if first grade is outside at the same time, they will go out as a grade, but we've asked teachers do not intermingle classes. So if one class is out on the track, there will not be another first grade class in that area. We've asked they do not do that for contact tracing reasons. Also just for the safety of the students. So they will not be mixed in their classrooms while they are outside. So teachers have been made very aware about keeping students apart, and they will talk to you in orientation. I do think that some teachers will be asking you to send towels in with your child in their backpack, because some of them are going to ask if they can take them out throughout the day, if they will have a towel that they can use to sit on. They may do some outdoor instruction as well. So on the pretty days.
Gage Peak asked a question. What if they don't get off the bus? Talking about students, if they don't get off the bus and they're taken to a different school. We track all of our students. We are, everyone is vigilant that day and prepared to ensure that students get to the right school. And so I don't think you have to worry about that. We're going to be very much on the lookout for that. And as well, we're going to be tagging students as we always do. And let's keep in mind this as well, that the first day of school this year, of in-person school, we're going to only have kindergarten, first and second graders throughout our entire district and right here at Wilder. And so we're probably talking about, that first day of school, maybe 150 kids. We're going to almost have more adults than we do have kids on that first day of school. So we're going to be very much attuned and on the lookout for that. We've already been meeting with bus compound supervisors and drivers. Ms. Frederick has tracked every student and knows what bus they're on. We know what bus they're on. And so we will be very much prepared for that. Again, we see our students at Wilder, and I tell our teachers and staff this all the time. We are to treat every child at this school as if they are our own child. And so we will be very much on the lookout for that. I promise you.
To add on to Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say to add on to Mr. Perkins, what he was saying about the buses. The bus drivers have to check their bus before they pull off as well. So they will be going back and checking every seat on the bus to make sure there's not a child that's like down in the seat or asleep or something like that. So that will happen every day.
And many of them have bus monitors on there with them as well.
And Miss Frederick also is aware of any students that are 4-day students. If they're ECE students, she is aware of those bus riders and car riders. I've also made her aware of any students that we have changed their schedule due to having a sibling in the school, to make sure that they are on the same schedule, coming the same days. Ms. Frederick is aware of all those students to make sure that they're on the correct bus and the correct form of transportation. So if you're concerned about that, we have that taken care of. And if you have any question regarding whether your child is on the A schedule or on the B schedule, please make sure you ask your teacher. And we have asked them to, I'm sending out another email as a reminder tonight to make sure that you all know what days your children are coming on. So please make sure that you ask your child's teacher if you have any question about that. If children are sent to us on A days, but they're not supposed to be with us until B days, we will contact the parents to come and get them. And if we have a child down that is down as virtual, but the child comes in on a school bus, we will call the parent to come and get them as well. So what you have marked as your child's preference, or in person or virtual, that is what we will go by.
Ms. Stinson, we have a question about how many kids are in classes, and I know that varies and you've been working on that, so I'll let you answer that one.
Okay, so parents, the way that is working is we are trying to get our numbers as low as we can on our A days and our B days. ECE students are allowed to attend on 4 days a week. So that does increase our numbers on some schedules, A and B schedules, in certain classrooms. Now, some of our ECE students, they are not choosing 4 days, but they have that option to choose that. Also, if they're in the referral process for ECE, they have that option. We have some classes that their A days are as low as 8 students, or B days might be 12. They're not the same on A days and B days in most classes. But I will tell you that we do have some classes that will have up to 12 students on a schedule of A days or B days. If your child is in 4th or 5th grade, the numbers are higher than that. So I will let you know, if you have a child that's in K through 3, right now we don't have any classes that are over 12 on an A schedule or a B schedule. But if they're in 4th or 5th, the numbers are larger in 4th and 5th at this time. So with parents having the option to change their student from in-person to virtual, once we get going, a week or 2 weeks in, if you choose to change, that will make numbers fluctuate as that happens. So that's kind of where our numbers are at this time. So I can't really tell you specifically every day right now because every classroom is different at this point. You are welcome to ask your child's teacher at orientation, because all teachers have their class list. They know how many students they have on A days, how many students they have on B days. So they can let you know that. But whether they have 12 students or whether they only have 6, they will all be spaced apart. And they will all have masks on at all times. So just so that you know that. And we had a question about, what if a child refuses to wear a mask? We've been reassured by our superintendent that we will have support. If we have any students that will not wear their mask, we will contact parents. We will follow the student code of conduct. If a child continues to not wear a mask, the parents will be called and their child will be moved to virtual. So safety is first and foremost. So if you are concerned about a child that might be in your child's classroom that's refusing to wear a mask, that will not be tolerated. So, and if you are concerned about your own child not wearing a mask, please make sure that they know they have to wear a mask. If you have any concern that they will not wear a mask and you've already chosen in person, please email us. You can send that email to me or Mr. Perkins or Dr. Owens, because we do need to change them to virtual if you do not think they will wear a mask, because that will not be allowed for the safety of all students and adults.
And Ms. Stinson, I just want to jump in here real quick and piggyback on that mask idea. If your child has not been wearing a mask, now is a great time to get a few, have them practice wearing them, make sure they fit correctly, make sure they're comfortable, because after this year, we've tried lots of different masks, and I'm sure we all now have our favorites that we know we can wear over long periods of time. So go ahead and do that. Make sure that kids are comfortable, that their masks fit well, that you have several so that, they have some options and some choices. And one other thing just to add that's going to be different is a water bottle. Students will need a water bottle this year. So just be aware of those two things in practice. We don't want their first time to have to wear a mask to be on that first day of school. So make sure they're in practice with that before they come.
And if you would please send your child in with a mask, but also send an extra mask in their backpack in a Ziploc bag. So they have an extra mask. So that would really help us. We do have extra masks that we can give students if they lose theirs or something happens to theirs, but it would really help if you put an extra one in their bag that they like to use or in their backpack in a Ziploc bag. CEP, did we already answer that question? I see a CEP question. Did we answer that already?
We do not. We are not going to have, for right now, the rest of this school year. We are not going to be a CEP site. So there will be a CEP site in our area at Dunn, and students that are there will be transported to Wilder if they're a Wilder student. They cut down on the number of CEP sites.
Can you get her?
So throughout the district. So that's something really that impacted, not just us, but a lot of schools. And they've kind of consolidated them into, just several sites.
You all may have already answered this last question that I see. If a child must quarantine, will they be switched to virtual and have to change teachers, or will they be asynchronous for their quarantine time? Would you like for me to answer that, Mr. Perkins?
Could you repeat that back to me, Ms. Stinson? I missed.
Yes. If a child must quarantine, will they be switched to virtual and have to change teachers, or will they be asynchronous for their quarantine time? Would you like for me to answer that?
No, I can answer that. They will not switch teachers. They will keep the same teachers. We will ensure that does not happen to them. And their work will be asynchronous with support from not only that teacher, but we will have a quarantine support person here who will also work with the family to ensure that child has everything that they need.
There's a question about hand sanitizer. I would say that we will have plenty of hand sanitizer, so your child does not need to bring any. The problem with your child bringing hand sanitizer is there's the temptation to want to get it out and to play with it and to keep it on papers and on desks and things like that. We will have plenty of hand sanitizer in classrooms everywhere in the building. Mr. Perkins, if I'm incorrect on answering that question, go ahead and correct me on that.
No, I think that's correct. I think that we have, you all ought to see all the hand sanitizer we have here. And every class will have their own kit. We have classroom caddies that we bought for all of the teachers that store everything that they need, and they will be replenished as necessary. We have lots of PPE equipment here as well. We have great access to get more when we need it.
If there are any more questions, if you could put those in the chat real quickly. I think we've answered all that we can see. But if we did not answer yours, if you'll drop that in the chat real quickly before we jump off. And I would just like to say I see a lot of comments thanking us for our hard work to make sure that we keep students safe. We are definitely trying to do that. That's our most important thing that we are trying to do. And we are trying to make sure we think of everything before school starts so that we can keep everyone safe. And we are looking very much forward to seeing our students. So we want to make sure that we have every system in place to make sure that we are ready next Wednesday. I don't see any more questions being dropped into the chat, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Ms. Stinson. And let me just thank everyone who joined us today. Let me also say this, that if there are questions that you didn't think of at this time that you might have later, please feel free to reach out to us. I know I've gotten several emails while we've been on, and I will answer all of those as well as text messages. We will work to help support you all as well as we can. And how will I contact? We actually will have thermometers for every child. And if families need them, rest assured they're going to get them. We got an order in the other day. We just have to figure out, how we're going to distribute those. All right. Kim, I just saw Kim posted. Kim, is that for thermometers? Is that answer? Okay. So that's how we're getting those thermometers out if you need them.
Once you contact her, Mr. Peak, she will let you know how you can pick up that thermometer. We can meet you at school on the first day, or we'll come up with something to make sure that you have that. So if you'll just email her, we'll make sure you have that thermometer if you need one. We miss you all too, Ms. Angermeyer.
Yes, we miss you all too.
We miss all of you and can't wait to see you.
Our parents have been so unbelievably supportive throughout NTI for our school and our teachers and our staff, and we are very grateful to you for that. I think we have the best parents of any school. We have the best kids. We have the best staff. Wilder's the best, so we really appreciate your support throughout that time. And we ask for your patience and support through this time. We're going to do our absolute best, but understand this, that no matter how well we do, we're not always going to be perfect, but we're going to work with you all to make sure that you understand what's going on. And we're going to do our very best, putting our children first that attend our school.
Ms. Gordon, if you did not see where I put in the chat, please contact me at monica.stinson@jefferson.kyschools.us so that I can and let me know your kiddo's name so that I can check and make sure you know who their teacher is and what orientation to attend.
And there was a question about getting paper forms to complete. And I had to reach out to answer that one. Sorry, it took me so long. We are really, really asking if at all possible that you go to Parent Place to complete forms. If you need assistance with that, you can call in and anyone who answers the phone will help walk you through the process. If that just will not work, we will get forms to you so that you can fill them out. But if at all possible, we'd like you to first start with Parent Place. Because it uploads directly into Infinite Campus and attaches to your student. But if that is not possible, like I said, just give us a call and we will get those paper copies to you.
And one last thing, I didn't hear this question, I didn't see this question pop up, but kindergarten through third grade students are leaving Chromebooks at home. So if that question comes, if you are wondering about that, teachers will go over that at their orientation. But fourth and fifth grade will be using their Chromebooks, but at school, but through third will keep in their Chromebooks at home. I think that's all of our questions. Mr. Perkins, do you want to close us out?
Well, just thanks for everybody jumping on. I'm sorry I got distracted a minute because I'm getting texts and emails from people. Be careful what you ask for, right? So I'm trying to get to all of those and keep an eye up here. But thanks to everyone for joining on. We appreciate you. We look so forward to seeing our young Wilder Wildcats here very soon, in just a week from now. And very excited to get back to in person. And we promise you our very best in person. And we not only that, we promise you our very best virtually, if that is your choice as well, because there are going to be good things happening there also. And so thanks again. And we look forward to that first day. If you have any questions at all, reach out to us, call us. You can still call the school at any time. You can email us at any time as well. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates that come through all of the time. Thanks again.
Bye, everybody.